welcome to my channel, Patterns by D. My name is Dee, and today's tutorial is on the classy clutch, which this was a high demand pattern for me to launch because when I made the draft, people were like, oh, when's the pattern dropping? So now the pattern has dropped, and now I'm putting together this tutorial on this bag here. Yes, it is the Coach dupe, which I'm calling it the classy clutch. Now, it comes in two sizes, extra large and large. And I'm going to put down in the description box below of where you can purchase the frame from. I'm not sponsored by the company, but I'm just going to put their information down below instead of me verbally telling you where I got the frame from. So, before we get into the tutorial, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell for upcoming videos and tutorials. So, with further ado, let's get started. The materials that you would need to put the classy clutch bag together are right here, and the yardage of fabric that you would need, just 1 yard for the exterior and 1 yard for the interior, and that's the same for the large as well. So, not a lot of fabric, but just enough. Okay, the materials that you would need to put the classy clutch bag together, you would need a heavy-duty fabric like leather, suede, upholstery fabric, or any fabric that you choose that you would have to interface to give you a little more stability. You will also need some lining for the inside of the bag, some nylon thread, some tracing paper with a tracing wheel so you can trace your pattern onto your fabric. You would need a thread burner, a pencil, a clear ruler, also some all-purpose adhesive. I'm using UHU, but you can also use E6000. You would need some shears, an awl, a zipper 9 inches long with a zipper pull. This is a zipper by the yard. You can use either one if it's a company zipper or a zipper by the yard from Amazon or Walmart. You will also need some clips, some double-sided tape, which is a 1/4 inch wide, a screwdriver or a Phillips screwdriver for your frame. Now you can purchase the glue-in frame or the screw-in frame. I'm gonna do both. I'm going to use glue and the screws. The frame you would need the measurement. This is an extra large frame because that's the bag that we're making today. This frame is 33 centimeters by 10.5 centimeters wide. And for the large, you will need 26 centimeters by 11 centimeters wide. And yeah, those are all the materials that you would need to put the classy clutch bag together. If you get something smaller, this is what you do. Okay, make sure when you get your frame, and these dots are like for the elbow part of the bag, the opening part of the bag, the joint end. These dots match up. But just to demonstrate to you how to fit your frame with this bag, you will match up the length of your frame to the bottom of the dots, and then like to say if your bag stopped here to match the dots, one thing you would have to do is line the corners up and line the dots up with the joint of the bag and just trace the outside of the frame. Just trace the outside. Okay, and then you'll take your ruler, and at the curve part of the bag, that's where you will place the edge of your ruler to match the dot, and then you'll make a line. And the edge, the corner edge of the frame, matching the dot on the other side, you make a line. And this is what you're going to cut off. This excess paper up here, you're going to cut it off if you want. Or you can use this as a template for your next bag that you make. So that's all you have to do. Okay, now I'm working with the extra large bag today, so these are the pieces that you would need. You would need to cut out for the pocket. You have to cut 1 piece of fabric on the fold as well as 1 piece of interfacing on the fold. For the extra large bottom piece, you would need to cut 1 piece of leather or vinyl, whatever fabric you're working with, one lining, cut 1 piece of lining and 1 piece of interfacing for the lining. Okay, and for the Duckville Heavy, you will have to cut 1 piece for the bottom, as you see here. Iron it on to your fabric. I ironed it on a piece of leather. And for the extra large, for the inside lining, you have to cut 2 pieces of lining and 2 pieces of interfacing. And also transfer your pocket opening onto your fabric on the wrong side. And for the exterior part of your bag, you're going to have to cut 2 pieces of your leather or vinyl or whatever upholstery fabric or whatever fabric you choose. Okay, now we're going to add the pocket. Now first, on the wrong side of your lining piece for your bag, you're going to cut the Y at the ends and in the center of the zipper opening. You're then going to take double-sided tape and tape at the very bottom of that zipper opening and on the top. The zipper opening. And you're going to remove the backing and you're going to fold the fabric upwards for the top out of the way and fold the bottom down. Okay. And on the right sides, it should look like this. Don't worry about the little V's on the side. Okay, now you're going to take your pocket piece and your zipper, double-sided tape, turn it around to the back, the wrong side of the zipper on the top, and place your double-sided tape. All right, and remove the backing of the tape. You're going to place it on the right sides of the fabric on the top. Press down, okay, and you're going to stitch 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the zipper all the way across. Okay, now you're going to stitch 1/4 of an inch from the edge. Okay. Now, if you have zipper by the foot, make sure you have your zipper pull in your attached to your zipper first before we close up the sides. Okay. All right, good. Okay, now, since let's put some double-sided tape. So the fabric won't move when we try to stitch it all together. Okay, these little tabs, put some tape here so the little tabs can stay down as well. And Okay. Let's line the bag up with the double-sided tape. All right. And make sure the pull is in the inside. You do not want to close it on the outside. Okay, so that's the pocket opening. All right, we're going to stitch across close to the edge of the bottom of the zipper all the way across. And that's what all we're going to do right now is just make one stitch at the very bottom across. Now insert your needle right here, maybe 1/8 of an inch from the edge on both sides, from this side and the bottom, right here at the corner. This out the way, make sure you back stitch. All right, back stitch. And remember, we're just stitching the bottom of the zipper. Okay. Okay, now that you have attached the pocket, it should look like that on the underside. This is the right side of the fabric facing you with the wrong side of the fabric, the lining on the wrong side facing you as well. Now you're going to take more double-sided tape and attach it on the wrong side of the zipper on top. And remove it. And now you're going to place it, the edge of it, make sure everything's even on top. And now you're going to stitch right sides together. You're going to stitch a line across just like you did the bottom. You're going to do the same thing for the top. And then after that, we're going to stitch the sides of the pocket on both sides closed. Okay, now you're going to start at the very bottom of the corner and go on the sides of your zipper on the top to the other side. So match up that edge there, insert your needle down, and you're going to go on the side of the zipper, you're going to back stitch. Okay. All right, now you have your zipper, your pocket that's enclosed. Cut off these excess threads. And now you're going to turn it over to the wrong side. All right, fold this fabric out of the way so you won't stitch it. And you're going to stitch 1/4 inch from the edge. back stitch. You're going to do the same thing for the other side, and you can cut off the excess zipper. So this is what it's supposed to look like on the inside, and this is the outside. Now we're going to sew the linings together with right sides facing. And we're only going to stitch at the dot all the way down both side seams using a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Pin that. Match those notches and pin. All right, and you're going to stitch at the dot, work your way down to the bottom. You're going to do that for both sides. All right, with 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, you're going to stitch from the bottom all the way up to the dot. Back stitch. Go slow around the turn. The dot and stop and back stitch. Okay, you're going to do that same thing to the other side. Sides of your lining together. Now we're going to attach the bottom piece of the lining. Take your bottom piece and you're going to match the notches. With the side seam. Matching the side notches with the side seam and the center notch here with the center notch of your bag. And then after matching all your notches, you're going to pin to fit all the way around. Now I'm going to stitch using a 3/8 of an inch all the way around the bottom of the bag. All right, now we're going to stitch starting at the side seam. Stitch 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm also going to leave a little bit of an opening at the bottom edge of the lining so I can turn the purse inside out, or I guess they say birth the bag. So at that notch, you're going to leave that one of the sides of the bottom, you're going to leave it open. So I'm just going to stop here and stitch. Back stitch, and then on the other side of the notch, I'm going to start stitching to close the other side of. Okay, now that you have finished the lining of the bag, let's move on to the exterior part of the bag. And like I said before, leave an opening here on one of the sides of the bottom so you can birth the bag later on. This is the fabric. I'm working with a leather. So also in the pieces, in the pattern pieces, you get some shapes for a little bit of design on your bag. You get like a heart, star, a circle, and a square, or a diamond, either one. And you will need your double-sided tape to make sure you place your, so your pieces don't move. So you'll stick it on the wrong side of your pieces. And I'll stick it, let's see, which way I want my star to go. Stick it right there. And you can have like overlap them or put them in different areas, whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah, I think that's cute. So I'm going to stitch these on, and I'm going to use a 3.5 stitch all the way around each piece. Change my foot, my pressure foot, and my needle, since I'm working with leather now. Grab my bobbin thread from underneath. All right. All right, so now I'm going to start with the heart. All right, lift your pressure foot up and cut your threads. So yeah, not too bad. So now we're going to attach, tie it off on the wrong side. Make sure you can pull it a little bit to get the other pull from the opposite side. That's one, and the other. All right. And then you tie them off. And I do it around 3 times is good. Cut these enough so I can burn them. Okay. So that's what it looks like on the top. And let's do the other two. Okay, now that we've added the decorative pieces to the bag, it looks so cute. Now we're going to, with right side spacing, we're going to stitch the side seams of the bag. And then we're going to attach the bottom of the bag. So now you can use your clips. And you're going to stitch from the dot all the way down to the bottom of the side seam. You're going to do that for both sides. Make sure you leave enough thread out to tie. And now we're going to start at the dot. Insert your needle through. I'm going really slow because, like I said, I don't have an industrial. Alright, so it went really well on both sides. But before I do the other side, I'm going to do a top stitching here to flatten my seam allowance down, since this is leather. You can do that with the fabric as well, but I just want to do this with the leather. So I love a good top stitch. Oh, did really well. The top stitching looks good. Nice. Yep, looks so good. Okay, now that I attached the exterior together at the side seams, I did a top stitching, a edge stitching on the side seam of the bag. Now we're going to work on the bottom piece by attaching the bottom. So with your bottom, matching the notches. Let me make these a little bit pronounced. I'm just cutting off a little bit of fabric. Okay. Okay, when you apply your fabric clips, make sure the flat part of the clip is laying flat against the bottom piece of your bag, because once you sew it underneath your needle, the bottom part of the bag is going to lay on the table surface of your sewing machine. And you're going to stitch 3/8 of an inch all the way around. And you're going to start at the side seam and work your way all the way around using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, now that you have attached your bottom to the top, we're going to make notches so your fabric can turn a little bit better. So let's turn it inside out and see how it looks. Now you're more than welcome to put like feet at the end, at the bottoms, but I didn't want to do it for this clutch because I'm going to be mostly carrying it in my arm or in my hand. It's a lot of manipulation with this because it's leather, but it's looking good. So if I wanted to put some adhesive here and flatten this down, I could, but I really don't want to right now. So let's just work on the lining next. And with the right sides facing the right sides of the lining, you're going to fit your exterior part of your bag into the lining. And now you're going to match the side seams. You can use your clips. And now you're going to fit it all the way around. And you're going to stitch your bag all the way around using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then we're going to berth the bag through the opening that you have here. And it's going to be a little tougher for me because I'm working with leather, but I'll be able to berth it with no problem. Now, starting at the side seam, you're going to insert your needle a 1/4 inch from the edge. And once you get to the side seam, you're going to leave your needle down and you're going to pivot your fabric and keep stitching a 1/4 inch all the way around. Okay, now let's burn the ends, tie them down, burn them, and then berth the bag, turn it inside out. Okay, now we're going to cut a little bit of the notching around the corners, to but not through. Do not clip your stitches on the corners because we're going to have to berth the bag, turn it inside out. And then we're going to attach our frame. And this is going to be kind of hard for me because I'm working with leather. All right. So now let's put the frame on. Let's attach the frame and we will be finished. I guess after you attach the frame, you could slip stitch your hole closed, or you could take it to the sewing machine and do a real close stitch to close it in. So and I'm going to slip stitch it closed. Okay. So let's put the frame on now. Add adhesive to the inside of the inner frame edge. So find your center. So now if you have screws, let's take your screws and place them around the edges. Now, just one more screw to go. And we'll wipe down the glue and then slip stitch the lining at the bottom. And that is it. Just take some rubbing alcohol and put a little bit on a paper towel and just take the adhesive off, and depending on what type of frame you have. Now this has like a clear coat around the frame, and the alcohol is not taking the clear coat off, it's just taking the glue off. And just rub it with your finger and it'll come right off. Yep, and there you have it. This is your bag, and I'm going to slip stitch my bottom opening. I'm going to close that. And then after you close your bottom up, that's your bag. Now you're going to probably have to leave let the adhesive dry a little bit more, but other than that, you're done. So yep, with the zipper inside, and you're all finished. Okay, that concludes the tutorial for the classy clutch. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Take care. Bye. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, watching my tutorial on the classy clutch. And stay tuned for upcoming videos and tutorials as well. So take care, guys. Be safe out there.